This is my title for research project. My idea comes from the last prosthetic hand project by Ferdianto that focus on playful prosthetic for children to raising confident amputee or non-amputee upper limb kids patient. My first thought about prosthetic is functional hand to improve disabled people work, but it can be a toys for kids that like to imagine anything to become toys or something interesting for them. I have read 5 journals about body power prosthetic limb development, and that's all are focused on stringing and anti-slip grasping object. I haven't found any research journal about developing prosthetic in hand shaping to improve grabbing and gripping. So this is my process. The first week, I have done making a mind map that based on toys. I haven't found any late title before. When I connect toys to medical devices, I found many possibilities according to children behavior, like daily life activity of disabled children. I think that disabled children can do specific activity like taking sand, gripping pen, or getting water with basic hand model prosthetic. Vertebrose prosthetic has a toys attached on prosthetic cover, but the hand model are basic. He was using component sharing modularity system that can provide many toys to be attached on one prosthetic. I will take that idea and developing hand function modular system and patient needs. Manufacturing process are optional choice according price data like a patient financial ability, BPJS subvention, or production fee. So I will start with issues and idea rather than manufacturing and fabrication for process. On second week, I have done literature exploration to straighten up my opinion about my title. It shows how, what, when, who, where, and why I picked the idea to become my research title. On the first step, I'm setting up the stakeholder flow and finding many users and connect the aspect needs and workflow. The main issues is on the lead users' behavior and the prosthetic order flow. Then policymakers like ISO, SNE from PSN that have arranged many rules about prosthetic and toys. From this assessment, I have got many possibilities data that I must get it to represent a complete research project. So after that, I made a benchmark that I used it from website called Thingiverse that present 100 3D prints based prosthetic. Because of the low price, prosthetic are the best issues to be appointed to my idea. Thingiverse is the correct place to get many cheap prosthetic projects from the professionals or the work groups. From the benchmark, I get some best innovative point to obtain new improvement. All my best 5, the 3 prosthetic have interesting innovative point in my opinion. The innovative point are string lining and silicone mold for anti-slip, and the last is modular socket. The third week, I have the ranking data research method. From this point, I must present primary and secondary data according to patient needs, existing product, and the last is pricing. Patient need, it can be cut from interview and shadowing lead and support user like how to wear it, comfortability, and daily needs. Comfortability is like ergonomy aspect. Existing product observation is to get latest field development and improvement. The last is pricing. It can be cut from interview with OP, orthosis and prosthetic maker, and support user as buyer. Primary and secondary data will be collected to become the activity need activities need conclusion analysis and provide some data and that present a problem solution and objective. From the big three, the problem, solution, and objective, a result design requirement, and objective, and start a design process. The fourth week, I have done primary data collection. In this week, I have divided primary data to be a three aspect of innovation point. It was technology, prices, and users. I've arranged must get data from each main aspect. The technology data have latest existing product, improvement and development, and the manufacturing process, user needs, that's all. And price data have OP maker pricing, including tax, custom for the import items, and the last is BPJS subvention. The last data is users that have OP maker interview about patient feels and condition after amputation, target market, and average user. This is my result after interview with Dr. Iputu Alit Bawana. He was doctor rehabilitation medicine from Dr. Sutomo Hospital. That he was said the hand prosthetic are divided into four types. That is cosmetic, bioelectric, body power, and hybrid. The prosthetic is considered from durability, endurance, and prices. And prosthetic for young children will be replaced after 2 until 3 years of usage because of the child muscle growth which make the socket narrow. BPJS subvention amount is 2.5 million rupiah, and the mill electric prices is in the range of 10 million. And young children are mostly birth defect rather than amputation, so the strength of their tricep, and bicep is still fairly normal. BPJS and non-BPJS patient is vary depending on their willingness or parent caretakers wants of prosthetic uses. Prosthetic function is not to focus on functional but on patient confidence. It to cover up the disability. And second interview, I have interview with Mr. Gatot Sunarto. He was a professional staff of orthosis and prosthetic in RSK Sumber Gelagah. He was said prosthetic that are often used are cosmetic type, and prosthetic function is in general is to cover up disability. The additional function is functional. BPJS subvention amount is 2.5 million rupiah. Cosmetic prosthetic prices in the range of 7.5 million rupiah, made from silicone casting. Young children are mostly birth defect rather than amputation, is said as Mr. Iputu Alit Bawana said. Number of small children number of children patient is double super rare or SSR. In RSK Sumber Gelagah, it's almost zero. The amount is not stated due of the rarely patient. And the most patients are adult and elder, so the prosthetic function is only to cover up disability. And the last is I have interview with Mrs. Nurnailisa. She was a lecturer on biology faculty. She was said born on the amputee patient will not grow long because of the osteoblast in the bone. The time of bone regeneration is around 6 months after surgery. This amount of time is the same as post-amputation rehabilitation of patient. Although bones cannot grow, young children's muscles still growing despite occurring atrophy. Atrophy is reduction in muscle mass. The growth is increased muscle length and width, neither the following. After I have an interview, I have done observation to cosmetic prosthetic in Sumber Gelagah. The prosthetic have realistic hand and texture. The price was in range of 7.5 million rupiah, made from silicone casting. The prices can be affected by custom due to imported code. The prosthetic is for adult and elderly patients due to the universal size of Asian countries. Sorry. And then I have observation to prosthetic toys by Ferdian Tejo. Toys-based prosthetic because the focus is on toys that attach to the prosthetic rather than functional hand. Modularity on cover that has a toys installed. After I have observation to the existing prosthetic, I have an observation to toys articulation to improve my mechanism. This I get from my own toys that I look on the traction on the moving pulley center. Therefore, the pull on the hang arm increased by about 15% compared to the center of the silent pulley. So the pulley have moving rather than he was silent on the place point. Okay. I have done discussion with my first supervisor, Bapak Joko Kuswanto. He was said the simple mechatronic is the main aspect for the body power prosthetic. If the traction is not strong enough, it is recommended to add a servo as a string pulling motor. It will be nice if hybrid prosthetic half body power and half motor power. And then I have discussion with my second supervisor, Bapak Yuma Alif Samboro. He was said that assembling start from the child basic daily activity such as holding bottles, holding pencil, shaking hands. Subsequent sampling is a follow-up activity such as taking water or scents, holding glass, and pinching. The last sample is the additional toys such as pistol, slingshot, and scope. The mechanism is just like a bicycle brake, gyro types or rotor type. This is my temporary design concept. It's not fixed yet because of incompletely data. I will use form for the function design because of functional focus. The market have been decided for two children because of toys-based main issues. And that's all my result after done 7 weeks of the research. Thank you.